Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we'll be on to the sewing tutorial of this bustier blouse with Queen Anne's neckline. And let's get straight into the video. If this is the first time of stopping by, do well to hit on the subscribe button and don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please watch my ads. So I have my sleeve, and then this is my back bodies, and you can see I've gone ahead to cut out my lace, my lining, and then the bridal satin I'm going to be using for this lace. So this is for our back yoke, and you can see I've added stitching allowance all around. This is the front yoke, and then this is the center front, and you can see I also added stitching allowance all around, ½ inch all around. And then this is my side piece, and you can see I added ½ inch stitching allowance, and then at the same side I added 1.5 inches. So that's the same thing I did for the back bodies as well. So I'll go ahead and bring in my front bodies, and this is the two side pieces, and then I'll bring in my bridal satin. So I'll turn my lace to the front, and then the bridal satin, the front of the bridal is going to be facing the back of the lace. I just hope you understand this. So we are not using the bridal to turn the lace. I just want to use it to line in the lace first before we turn it. So the front of the bridal will be at the back of the lace. So once I am done with this, I will go ahead and stitch it down all around. The reason for top stitching this is just to keep it in place so that it doesn't keep moving around while we are working. But you can just skip this part if you want to. I'll do the same thing for my center front as well. I'll open it up, making sure I have the back side facing me, and then I'll place my front bridal on top of it, and I'll go ahead and top stitch it all around as well. And I did the same thing for the back bodies as well. So this is it after I was done. You can see it's now in place. I don't need to keep struggling to keep it in place. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to also arrange the front piece the way it will be. Once I am done arranging this, I'll pick up one side and then do front facing front. I'll go ahead and make sure I mash it up well, and then I'll start pinning down. Make sure you pin your underbust, that your underbust is matching each other. Then I'll go ahead and stitch it down from one end to the other. Once I am done, I'll open it up and repeat the same process for the other side. And whatever I do to this, I'll do to my lining. So for the back piece, you can see I'm done stitching it down and it's in place. So I'll go ahead and also take in my darts. So remember, our dart is half of our nipple to nipple measurement. Remember you have zipper allowance there, so the excess there is for my zipper. So I'll go ahead and take measurements of where my dart is going to sit on, just like we did for when we were drafting this. So if you haven't watched the video on the drafting, please do well to check the description box for the drafting. So I'll mark at 10 inches, and then from that 10 inches I'll go ahead and mark my underbust. Then from that underbust I'm going to be taking 1 inch, and then we are going to slant this to meet the upward and the downward as well. But just like I told you guys, if you're going to be attaching yoke just like my own, please do well to extend your dart up to the upper side so that place will be tightened. I hope you don't forget this. So this is our front bodies. If you're going to be padding this, by the time you pad it, you see it standing. But for me, I'm not padding it, so that's why it's like this. So I'll bring in my back bodies. You can see I'm done with this dart. And remember what you do to the bodies, you're going to be doing to your lining. So guys, we're going to bring in our yoke, our front yoke first, and you can see my front yoke is folded into two. Then I'll go ahead and place it the way I want it to be on the fabric. I'll place it this way so that by the time I'll be able to arrange it, then I'll flip it over to meet right side facing each other with the bodies. I'll then go ahead to pin it down. Once I am done with this side, I'll repeat the same process for the other side. Then I'll go to my sewing machine to stitch it down. So this yoke is for our back bodies, and it's, as you can see, is 4 pieces. That's 2 sides for one side and then the other 2 for the other side. I'll be using the one who's going to be serving as the lace. So this is how it's going to look by the time you are done stitching it down and you're going to attach your hook. So I'm just showing you guys I added 1/2 inch all around it. Then I went ahead to stitch it down at those places that you saw me pointing at. Once I am done with it, you have 2 options: either to notch it before you turn it to the right side, or you cut off the excesses. And I'm going with the cutting off of the excesses. I cut off all the excesses I have on my stitch area, then I'll turn it to the right side. So this is it. After I was done turning it to the right side, we are going to go ahead and attach this to our back bodies, just like we did for the front one. Do the same for the back. So guys, this is it. I will now bring in my lining, and then I'll go ahead and close this up. I'll stitch, and at this point, remember to do front facing front. I'll stitch by 1/2 inch, or how much inch allowance you added, and then I'll stitch the upper part as well. I'll do the same thing for the other side of the back bodies. So guys, this is onto our front body. I'll also bring in my lining. Remember I said whatever you do to your main fabric, you do to your lining for this blouse. So I'll bring in my lining and make sure my 2 seam line is matching each other. I'll pin it down. Then I'll go ahead and arrange the hem area, stitch it down, and also the upper part. So this is the structure, whatever the design I wanted to add, the flounce design I wanted to add to the sleeve. I'm done stitching it and doing all the serere that come with it. I'll be putting in the description box the link to make this so that this video is not so long. So I'll hold this in together, and then I'll make notch at the center. Once I make that notch, I also make notch at the center of the sleeve. Then I'll go ahead and open the sleeve up and bring in my flounce structure sleeve. I'll go ahead and pin down the two notches that I made. Once I am done with this, I'll now go ahead and stitch it from one end to the other. So this is what we have after we are just done stitching it down. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to bring in my bodies. You can see the yoke. I'm done stitching it down. The next thing we are going to be doing is to do front facing front. At this point, I've ironed my pieces down. So once I arrange the shoulders front facing front, I'm going to go the bodies. I'm going to pick up my shoulders, and then it's either you stitch it this way, place it this way, and then stitch, or you can do your inseam finishing, which is what I'm going to be doing next. So you pick up your shoulder, hold it together, and then you are going to go ahead and open. You're going to go ahead and open your shoulders or your yoke. First thing you're going to do is to match the two seam line. Pin it down, and then you can pin every other side down before going to your sewing machine to stitch it down by 1/2 inch. So this is the sleeve. I am done stitching it down. You can see it's coming together. And for the bodies as well, I am done stitching the bodies at the shoulders down as well, and you can see it. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to attach my zip, my sleeve. So I'll go ahead and do front facing front, and then I'll attach my sleeve again all the way from one end to the other. So guys, this is it after I was done stitching it. You can see it's really coming together. We are moving to the permanent side. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is for us to work on the seam side, and for this I'm going to go ahead and arrange all my pieces together, and then I'll stitch by my allowance 1.5 inches all the way down, and I did the same thing for the other side. So this is it after I was done. So you go ahead and attach hook at this point. So the next thing I'll do is to attach my zipper, and that's all for this sewing tutorial of this blouse. If you enjoyed this video, please do well to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, watch my ads, share my videos to family and friends. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.